Hey everyone, welcome back to the Critic-Verse. Today we're continuing with our recap and review of Power Book 4 Force Season 2, with Season 2 Episode 6, titled Here There Be Monsters. Now, before we get to the recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to follow along with further recap and reviews. Keep updated on all things Critic-Verse and help me on my current goal of 500 subscribers. Now, quick reminder, this video will contain spoilers from this week's episode, so I hope you've all watched it first. And now, on to the video. The episode is once again titled, Here There Be Monsters. A couple of things the title could be in reference to is in the aftermath of the previous episode when Miguel confronted Dr. Kendall, Maria believes her brother to be a monster and wants to distance herself from him and Tommy. But this actually pushes her to realize her true feelings for Tommy. Diamond awakens his inner monster to protect Leon from a monster that he's all too familiar with. The Serbs retaliate against Tommy and show them what true monsters are really like. And lastly, Tommy is confronted by a ghost to convince himself that he is not the monster he used to be because he loves Maria. The episode begins with Claudia IDing Walter's corpse and her turning off the waterworks the second she's alone with his body, blaming this all on him, and then preparing her crocodile tears once again to go outside. Vic is in the U.S. Attorney's conference room where U.S. Attorney Stacy is lording his new WITSEC deal over him, and while he is still focused on punishing Claudia, Stacy doesn't care about her at all and is solely focused on Tommy and connecting him to Miguel and the cartel. Next, Tommy makes plans with Maria when Diamond shows up, giddy over Walter's demise, and they assess the situation and plan to take the Flynn territory. Tommy assures Diamond Vic is gonna come to him, and Tommy, you better be careful what you wish for. Tommy helps Maria pick out a car to lease, and they flirt while using cars as a euphemism, but she's informed of Kendall's attack and has to cut the date short. Diamond meets with Mirković to pay off Jenard's debt, but Mirković declines, saying the projects are more valuable and Jenard's life isn't. At the hospital, Kendall gives Maria more info on his attack by the well-dressed Mexicans, and she probes to find out if he knows who exactly attacked him, but she knows who did it herself, but just wants to make sure he doesn't know. Next, Vic meets with Tommy like clockwork. Vic tells him he's the one that killed Walter and he'll give them the territory if he can join CBI, claiming that he wants to start moving powder since it's more profitable. And while Tommy is hesitant, he agrees after Vic offers a 60-40 split. Next, going over Walter's will, Claudia gets impatient but is left practically speechless after finding out everything is going to Vic, including the mansion. Back at Tommy's place, JP is having a hard time adjusting to letting Darnell go. And back with Walter and Claudia, after complaining about the will, Vic plays his hand on Claudia, revealing he knew about her setup and he's taking everything and going to CBI. Also pulling her bodyguards so she'll have no protection from Tommy, again leaving her speechless. Diamond finds Jenard lost in his new habit, looking very pathetic, chastising him to pull himself together so that they can convince Tommy to let him back into CBI. Next, Miguel is in serious problems waiting for Maria to give him his insulin shot. When she questions him about what he did to Kendall and what problems that could cause in her life, Miguel tries to lay down the law. But right now, he needs her a lot more than she needs him. And when she won't give him the shot, she gets a guilt trip from their abuela, and she still leaves, not giving him the shot. After Diamond is training Leon at Shanti's gym, Diamond talks to Shanti about the Jenard problem, and she reveals that she knows. And Diamond says Jenard rejoining CBI could help him, and she agrees, even going forward to sweeten the pot, saying CBI will get her territory if they let Jenard back in. Diamond brings Leon home, and Gianni flirts with Diamond, and as Diamond is about to ask her out, Leon's dad comes home, still in the picture, and is all around unpleasant, kicking Diamond out. Next, an old friend of Claudia's and her first lesbian crush comes home after finding out about Walter's death, and invites her out to cheer her up to a private strip club. Tommy discusses his deal with Vic and expanding up north, which Diamond is hesitant but wants to bring Jenard back in. Tommy flat out rejects this until he hears Shanti's offer and accepts as long as Jenard's head is right, and Diamond lies, saying that it is. And he tells Tommy that about the problem with the Serbs, but Tommy says he'll be diplomatic and talk to Mirković himself. Shanti finds Jenard strung out again and questions him about her missing necklace. He denies it, but she gives him the wake-up call that he desperately needed and an ultimatum, to which he ultimately chooses her, even returns her necklace. Claudia finds a business opportunity with the strippers at the exclusive club. Vic and Tommy had a successful night out, and Tommy gives him a burner with his personal number. And after Tommy drives off, Vic flips out when he spots one of the U.S. attorneys tailing him. Diamond watches as Leon's biggest bully is his own father, as he claims to be trying to toughen up his son, which does hit close to home for Diamond, given the last episode. Now, Claudia comes to Jenard with her new opportunity, but he turns her down the same way she turned him down in the first episode. We then get a hilarious scene of Tommy eating during his meeting with Mirković, and he advises Mirković not to make a move on Jenard, and Mirković doesn't want Tommy or CBI expanding north, calling Tommy a pirate that doesn't know boundaries. Leon's dad, boy, he's a real piece of work, doing drugs and cheating on Gianni all on his lunch break, to which Diamond shows up and almost chokes the life out of him, warning him to leave them alone or he'll kill him. Next, Diamond has Jenard come by the barbershop to talk to Tommy and make peace, to which Tommy accepts and they shake on it, but Tommy, looking at Jenard, you can see he still suspects something. Maria says she's distancing herself from Tommy in order to protect him from Miguel, and while Tommy tries to say he can take care of himself, he gets a call and has to leave. Then, at the Crimson Projects, the Serbs pull up in droves and rain hell down, not just on CBI, but also the innocent bystanders that live there, destroying their homes with grenade launchers and hails of bullets, killing a lot of the CBI gang members, almost killing Big Smurf. Then, at the hospital, the victims of the Crimson Project shootouts are being drove in, and Maria is worried about Tommy as she sees Big Smurf being pulled in. Tommy and Diamond witness the aftermath of the Serbs' attack, and then Tommy gets a text from Mirković warning him not to expand north. Vic then meets with USA Attorney Stacy and updates her on Claudia, but she doesn't give a crap about Claudia. She starts to berate Vic after she feels like he's trying to outsmart her when he lies, saying that he doesn't have Tommy's number, to which even her guy saw Tommy give Vic a burner phone. Maria goes to see Tommy at his place after freaking out when she saw the aftermath of the Crimson Project's attack, fearing that Tommy was dead, and then they make up and sleep together. Vic is now alone in the mansion talking to ghosts of his own. He admits to not wanting to take Tommy down, but also admits that it's the only way to be free from the life. Jenard goes to talk with Shanti and she reveals her true motives. And now that Jenard is back in CBI, that they'll work together to put Tommy down and put Jenard on top. In the final scene of the episode, Tommy is visited by another ghost, his most notorious love interest Holly, who in Tommy's hallucination is sporting a baby bump because she had just found out that she was pregnant right before Tommy killed her. And Tommy admits to Holly that he's a changed man, or that he has to be because he loves Maria. And as he admits that, Holly disappears and the episode ends. Wow, talk about another crazy episode. This episode definitely feels like the battle lines are being drawn as everyone is declaring their sides in this episode. A couple of thoughts I had on this episode was, first, Jenard's descent into becoming a hype, which is essentially a junkie, felt so rushed. From snorting his own supply to buying from others and shooting up with needles. But I guess that he had to hit rock bottom fast so they could raise him back up even faster. And Jenard's return to CBI went smoothly, but I just can't imagine or wonder how his treason guys will react to being back under the CBI umbrella, given everything that they went through with the split. Diamond going to pay off Jenard's debt to the Serbs and Miguel inadvertently confirms what Claudia said to the Serbs a couple episodes back. And speaking of Claudia still gets support from the Serbs, even though she practically has nothing to offer them. But I guess they're just paying her back for the right information she gave them. And then it seems that she's in a similar position to where Jenard was in season 1, completely at the bottom, starting over. But she's not as down bad as he was, considering that he was dipping into his supply. And Diamond is able to relate to Dion even more after meeting Leon's dad. And since we learned about Big Sid in the previous episode, this definitely hit close to home for him. And now, the way that Shanti was acting with Jenard in this episode, ironically enough, kind of reminds me of the way Holly was with Tommy, pushing him to double-cross his brother just so that they can be the ones to run the game. And the only thing that's protecting her is that Jenard is a lot more weak-willed compared to Tommy, or at least compared to how Tommy used to be back in the earlier seasons of Power. But also, what's protecting her is the fact that she got hands and Holly didn't. And Tommy's relationship with Maria can only end bad because it's definitely rushed. I mean, seriously, like, they went from barely talking in the first 2 episodes to casually flirting to this basically a relationship, saying that they love each other. And he was even like admitting that he loved her to his subconscious, and it felt like there should be more scenes between them building up this relationship. One thing I didn't like is that how dumb it feels that Vic is being for making this deal with the U.S. attorneys, given the fact that he probably would have gotten everything that he wanted from just teaming up with CBI. And he's already giving them the territory, so he could have definitely just left them with it anyway. But anyway, how do you think the rest of Treason will react to rejoining CBI? Let me know in the comments. That's all I have on this episode. Thanks for joining me in the Critic-Verse. See you next time.